Hello, everyone. This is Own Wall Street with the TradersPerspective.com doing my Wednesday evening bi weekly video analysis. Before you, you have crude oil. I'm looking at the weekly time frame. I've got the Fibonacci retracement levels loaded up for you based upon the low levels that were put in back a while around $26, $28, just to kind of get an idea of the overall picture of what's happening with oil. So, as you can see here, if we're using this $54, $55 level as the highs, it makes sense. We bounced off this 38 level retracement, came up, failed to get above this trend line that I previously had here. But in essence, you can see we're fighting with this 50 period simple moving average on this longer time frame. So I'd say that there's definitely going to be some more weakness heading into oil. So once we break below this 38.2% level, we're heading towards the 50. So that's around 40. So that's the next level that, in all sincerity, that's probably what we're going to be looking at. I mean, you may have an interim bounce around 40, 42, 43 or so, but long story short, you're looking at a lower price for the price of oil. And if you're looking at the basics of economics and the amount of supply of oil that we have, I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, if you're going to burn through the supply of oil, bring the prices down, and that'll help balance it out. When cheaper oil, creates higher demand. In essence, you know how the whole story works. So dropping down to lower time frames, let's see what we got as far as a trade setup. I mean, probably not much. Everything's kind of in a very, very tight range. So again, so this is that level that I was talking about, that 38.2 around 43.70, 43.80. We've been kind of on this nice little downtrend on this daily time frame. I'll zoom out a little bit to give you a better perspective. And you can see here that we've been battling with this trend line coming down here. And we have this 50 period crossing the 200 on the daily time frame. It's also bearish, as you all know. So if there's going to be any push in oil, it's going to be a bounce from about 40, 43.80, maybe to about 43. I'm sorry, way off there, 46. That's probably the area that we're looking at. And I'm going to drop down to the lower time frame just to kind of get a better idea, because even the US dollar that I just did the analysis on, that everything was kind of in the details. So it all depends upon, what's going to happen on these lower levels, these micro trends. So for right now, if you're looking at oil and you're going to be trading this position, you want to see price break back above this. So in essence, you want to see price hold down here and break above here. It's going to be a little bit difficult, again, given the overall picture of things on a weekly time frame. You'd expect that prices would, revert back to this level again, around 43.77. So that's kind of what I'll be looking at. I mean, in the end of the week, can oil go to the 40s? It's definitely possible. If the rig count comes out, there's so much that can happen. But overall, it looks like the money is just leaving oil right now. So if oil is going to continue to push further to the downside, this is going to be the key level to watch. If you're going to try to make a quick flip on this, go along here and maybe take a shot at playing this little trend line bounce. I mean, that's up to you. I personally like the longer time frames. There's less stress in there, and it's a much more comfortable trade to be in. The risk reward just happened to match up a lot better on the longer time frame. So if you happen to catch a swing and you're looking, if you're planning to catch a swing, then maybe that's an option. Just watch for this downtrend line here, just like we had back here. If you get that break, that's when you know that you're either A, on the right side, or on the wrong side. Depends if you're long or short. But this is going to be the level to watch overall. I mean, in essence, this Fibonacci level is what's key. So as my moving averages come down on this daily time frame, as they will on yours as well, there's a lot of resistance on this upside move, but there's also a little bit of support down here at 46.70 or so, 43.70. So looking at this weekly time frame again, just to give you the grand scheme of where we are in this whole cycle of oil, I mean, this is what we're looking at. It's not a pretty picture, and you're trading a very tight range, as I was mentioning here. You're looking at this downtrend line, but you had a pop in oil back here only to fail and come right back down. So I would say that there's definitely, without a doubt, a bearish bias to oil right now, and it wouldn't be out of the question at all for me to say that oil might even trend lower to the low 40s in the Friday. But again, that all depends on this line right here. This is like the line in the sand right now. So if oil is going to hold itself together and try to keep some kind of a general range of activity, and what I mean by that is, um, just kind of having this level here. I'll just make that into red as that is the resistance level. If this is going to be the new range, then that's what you're going to be looking at. So just to visualize it, so we've been here before. We've been in this box for a little while. We went above it for a little bit, back in, and so on. I've referenced this before in my previous videos. This is the key. So if we're going to be, forming some kind of a base, this is what you're going to be watching for. If you're a bull looking to take a position on a very, opportunistic approach here. Either way, if you're long or short, just be careful. This is a very tight range. Anything can happen. Stick to your lower time frames. You might even want to drop down to like the 15-minute time frame if you don't already. I highly suggest it. There's a lot of clues hidden in what's happening with the price action on those lower time frames. Overall, though, I would say immediate downside, you probably see this level get tested around 43.70 or so, and then it depends on what happens from there, where we go from there. Watch this trend line. Keep your stops tight. Be careful. Green trading to all of you. I'm on Wall Street. This has been a presentation of thetradersperspective.com. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Have a great evening.